Well, hey there, Chris Merchant from Waitsfield and Champlain Valley Telecom here, and also from Green Mountain Access. And we created a new tutorial for you guys. I think this will be helpful to you because this is something I've been wanting to learn how to do for a while, and I figured it out, and I thought I'd share it with you. I'm going to call this tutorial Programming Your iPhone to Call Waitsfield and Champlain Valley Telecom's voicemail service. I don't know about you, but have you ever been on the road and tried to call into our voicemail system using your iPhone? I gotta tell you, it can be a little stressful. You got to be a little careful with it. I mean, for one thing, you have to dial the access number, right? And then you also have to dial the 10-digit voicemail box that you have. I mean, that makes sense because how does the system know which voicemail box you want to access? And if you have a multi-box system, you even have to tell it which sub-box that you want to enter, who do you want to log in as, and finally it asks you for the PIN number. And it has to ask you for that because you don't want just anybody logging into your voicemail box. Wouldn't it be awesome if there was just a way that we could program one button on our iPhone to do all this for us? And I think I found a way to do it, and it's actually pretty easy. And I'm actually astonished that I haven't done it a long time ago. So I'm going to share this with you. The trick to this is to program the proper amount of pauses, that is the timing between when the voicemail system asks you a question and then adding the proper input to the question to the voicemail system. I think you'll see what I mean by this. For example, let's imagine that I have a voicemail box and it's assigned to 434-3391. That is my voicemail box. And so normally what we have to do, if I was going to enter this into my iPhone and somehow program it, we'll talk about that later, what kind of strings would I have to do? What kind of programming would I have to do on the phone? Well, the first thing I'd have to do is call the local voicemail number. Now in Richmond it would be 434-8000. If it was in Warren, it'd be 583-8000. If it was someplace else, it'd be 545-8000. You get what I mean. There's various local numbers that you can call to get to our voicemail system. But that's what I would have to add into my iPhone. When I do that, the system then comes on and it starts asking me questions. Now, what I have to do is I have to enter a pause into that string somehow. And each pause initiated by or represented by a comma is equal to about 3 seconds. So somehow I have to get the pauses in there. And then after that 3-second pause, the system will ask, please enter the area code and phone number followed by the pound sign. And this is where you enter your mailbox number. In my case, it'd be the 434-3391 pound. You got to remember that pound. Would have to be entered into there. And then lastly, I'd have to add another pause, wouldn't I? Because the last thing it's going to ask me is for a PIN number. And in my case, it would be 3391. Now, this is not the real PIN number, but I'm just using that as an example. So let's analyze the whole string. First thing I'd have to do is enter 802-434-8000. That's the local voicemail number. Then I'd have to add a pause, 3-second pause, because the system is then going to ask, what is your mailbox number? Please enter the 10-digit mailbox number. I would add 802-434-3391 pound. And then it's eventually I have to add another pause, another 3-second delay, and then I add the PIN number 3391 pound. That's what it would look like. If we could somehow do that, add that to our phone, it would work like a champ, and it does work like a champ. It's actually pretty nice. How do we do that on the iPhone? Now, I'm sure we can do this for an Android phone as well. I just haven't kind of researched that yet, but maybe there'll be another video coming soon. So let's program the iPhone so that we can tap one button to log into our voicemail system using what we've learned today. What I did is I created a new contact. I'll call it, business voicemail, and I actually put business as the first name and voicemail as the last name. And then I started to enter the number into the work field. The first thing we have to do is we have to add the local voicemail number. So I added 802-434-8000. We then have to add a 3-second delay or pause. How do you do that? Well, on the iPhone you enter a comma, but there's no place on the buttons to enter a comma. But actually there is. That comma, if you hit these wildcard keys, you actually come to another menu where it actually says pause. So you hit that pause or that tap that pause button, and that'll give you a 3-second delay. So we just go to the next field. We know that the system's going to ask us for the voicemail phone number. So this is where I would add 802-434-3391 pound. And then I would add another pause. So we do it the same way. We hit that wild card, hit the pause button. Now we have another comma at the end of that number. So we've added the local voicemail number, we've added the 10-digit phone number that it's asking for, and finally we have to add the PIN. The PIN code's easy. You put 3391 pound at the end of the PIN code, and voila, your system is set. Now you have a number that will punch all the codes for you automatically. And if you wanted to, you could make this a favorite in your iPhone contacts list to make it easier down the road, so it's always on your favorites list. Well, this is Chris Merchant from Waitsfield and Champlain Valley Telecom and Green Mountain Access. I hope this was helpful. If you want to find some other videos, we do have a YouTube channel. It's www.youtube.com/Green Mountain Access, all one word. It's great talking to you, and I hope this was helpful. Have a great day.